Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I have Mr. Antwan Jackson with me this morning. Good morning, Antwan. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. This is such a wonderful organization. And Ken Coleman, who's a friend of the show, not only a friend of the show, he's been one of my panelists on Table Talk, the second show, and he just a big proponent.
Absolutely. Ken is a mentor in our program and a
Right.
past board member, and so he's continued to be a great champion for our campaign.
Well, can I get a little background on you?
Sure, yeah. I am Antwan Jackson. I am with Big Brothers Big Sisters, have been for the past 9 years.
Where'd you come up?
I grew up in Southwest Detroit, or near Southwest side of Detroit.
Southwest
Yes, ma'am.
side.
Yes, ma'am. Over on 33rd and Michigan Avenue. So,
Wow, 33rd in Michigan.
yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
know where
ma'am.
that
Yes,
is.
ma'am. Born and raised right here in the city of Detroit. Attended school here in Michigan. Graduated. Have been working with Big Brothers Big Sisters now for the past 9 years, pushing the work
Where
of
did you go to
mentoring.
school?
I attended University of Detroit Mercy and also University of Phoenix.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
ma'am.
Wow. And what was your area of study?
Business administration.
So now your job with Big Brothers and Big Sisters is it says you're a manager of site-based programs and recruitment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am currently managing our processes for engaging our school-based programs. So we provide mentors for students in schools in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. But I also lead all of our recruitment efforts.
Oh, gee. Why don't you give my audience a little history of Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Yeah. Big Brothers Big Sisters was started over 100 years ago in New York by a court clerk who saw some students going in and out of the court system. And so he wanted to find a way that they could actually help those students be better. And as a result, what he did was he went to his church group and said, hey, can we do something to help these students? And so every person in the room actually raised their hand, stood up to volunteer, and from there, Big Brothers Big Sisters, or the concept of mentoring, as we know it, was then pushed out. And so now here in Michigan, for the past 40 years, we've been providing mentors for students in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. We do that on a one-to-one basis, and we ask volunteers to commit to at least 1 year of mentoring that child.
A one-to-one basis. In other words, if I wanted to be a mentor, you choose a child for me or what?
Right. So we look at who you are. So I come out and interview you, Miss Perryman, and say, okay, so I know you were past drama teachers. I know you like drama. I know you're on television. Look at some of the things that you like, and I find a child who has interest in those areas, and I look to match them with you. And so traditionally, or I should say, typically, our matches do very well in terms of who we match up, and they go on to be matched for years on end.
Right,
Yeah,
right. It passed graduation, passed. Because really, a big brother or big sister turns out to be a friend, not
absolutely,
only a mentor, a
absolutely.
friend. And it's so important, especially, I've seen a lot of young kids who have participate in sports or in theater or
Hmm.
band and no parents show up.
Right, right.
And that's why it's so great to have a big brother or big sister, a mentor
Hmm.
who'll be there. Someone you
Absolutely.
it's nothing like it. People don't realize how important it is to show up.
Absolutely.
Half the battle is won by just showing up.
Just showing up. Just showing up. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's what we strive to push and stress to our mentors and to the families, that the mentor is not there to be a surrogate parent, if you will, but
Right.
they're just there to be a
Absolutely.
support. And like you said, showing up to the drama presentation, showing up to the basketball game, that's what mentors are there for, and that's what they do. And so the kids, they really they benefit from having another positive, caring adult in
Now,
their
where do you
lives.
find the kids? Do they come to you all, or how does that happen?
Yeah, so the majority of the time, because we have a recognized brand when it comes to mentoring the children, they come to us. However, we
How do
do.
they find out about you?
So parents talk to school counselors, they talk to probation officers, they talk to the police department. Maybe their kid got in trouble over the summer throwing rocks and broke somebody's window, and so the police will say, I think he needs to be in Big Brothers Big Sisters, and so they'll give us a call. We have Department of Human Services who refers students to us and children. They really just come from all over the place, and of course I can't forget the faith-based community who refers children to us as well.
Oh, and so whatever that mentor decides to like take the child to a baseball game or something like that,
Hmm.
do you ever have that can happen?
Absolutely.
Do you ever have any group activities?
We do have some group activities. Annually, we host our annual picnic for the students. We
I bet
host,
that's fun.
absolutely, it is. It's very fun. You know, sack races and all that good stuff. Egg on the spoon race. It's all good.
I would have lost all those races. All those races. The sack race and the egg on the
Yeah,
spoon.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
God, just the thought. Now, here I got this egg on the spoon. I really not drop it and stuff like that.
Right.
But those are fun, and young people love that. And then they can meet other young people. And the main thing is to get them in a positive direction, to think positively, to be confident, right?
Absolutely, that's definitely the direction to help them to improve in their academics, their self-esteem, their outlook on life. Because a lot of the kids who come to our program, they have not even thought about college or post-secondary education, but having a mentor helps them do that. And so, what we've been doing over the past almost 100 days now is pushing our 100 Mentors in 100 Days campaign, and this kicked off
Tell
on
us
January
about that.
1st. Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
us about that.
Yes, ma'am. So it kicked off on January 1st, 100 Mentors in 100 Days, which is our signature recruitment campaign. It's an opportunity for us to go and secure additional mentors for the children that we know are waiting or those who desire a mentor. And so we've been in the media, we've been hitting the pavement on the ground, going around to corporations, civic groups, fraternities, faith based organizations, sharing our mission in hopes of securing additional mentors. And so I'm happy to say that as we approach the end of our campaign, which is April 9th, we're already over halfway there of reaching our
Oh
goal.
goodness, and we just got to get some more. You hear? I've already adopted. We got to get more.
Absolutely, we have to get more.
What age should the mentor start at?
We look for mentors who are 18 years or older who can commit to the minimum of 1 year of mentoring a child and meeting with that child at minimum twice a month. We also, for our community-based mentoring model, we do require that the person have a valid driver's license and
Of
proof of auto
course.
insurance. Yes, ma'am.
Of course, of course. That's really, really important. Can you tell us of any success stories with mentors? And
Oh yeah, I have so many to choose from. In the 9 years that I've been with the agency, I've actually seen children who came into the program at say age 7, and now 9 years later they are going on to high school. I've seen stories where the kid was ready to drop out of high school, but now they've gone on to attend University of Michigan on a full ride scholarship. I've seen success stories of students who came to our program by way of a probation officer. They were in trouble with the juvenile justice system, and as a result of having a mentor in their life, they've now been released from the juvenile justice system. They were maybe on a tether or some type of facility. They've been released from there, and now they've gone on to secure job as well as pursue post-secondary education. We've seen a lot of great things happen just by having a mentor in a child's life. And even my personal story, I'm the son of a schizophrenic mom, and so growing up, I always had to find a way to make things happen, if you will. And so I remember it was a high school history teacher who actually took me under his wing and said, "I'm going to be your mentor." And so he walked me through graduation, graduated high school with honors, and all of those great things happened because of a mentor. So we've seen those stories, and every single day we're on the phone with a parent who's saying, "I just need my son to have a mentor." And unfortunately, what we cannot do in all cases is get a mentor for that child. And so that's why we push this campaign, this 100 Mentors in 100 Days campaign, really trying to secure more mentors.
well, I have a lump in my throat right now because, no,
Yes,
seriously,
ma'am.
I've spent most of my life around young people.
Hmm.
And a lot of grandparents are raising
Absolutely.
children.
I was one of them. I was
Okay.
one of those kids being raised by grandma.
And sometimes they could use a little help.
Absolutely.
How my viewers who are grandparents who say, I'd like my grandchild to do some more positive things besides what I can do for them,
Hmm.
how would they reach you?
Yeah. So right now, as I mentioned, that we are pushing for more mentors. We do have a program for young people who are 14 to 19 years old who've had some involvement with the juvenile justice system. We are actively recruiting children for that program. For our general community-based program, it really depends upon the area in which those grandparents live. So I'm going to give out the number, and I know that you're going to call me, and I know some of you have already on the website inquiring, but I just want you to know that we are actively trying to secure more mentors so that we can service them, because what's happening, Miss Perryman, is that we have a boatload of kids,
And you need more
and we
mentors.
need more
And
mentors.
that was my second
Yes,
part.
ma'am.
My
Yes,
second
yes,
part. But
ma'am.
I had to ask the grandparent thing or the
Absolutely.
parent thing
Hmm.
because sometimes it's real
Yes,
difficult.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And mentors. Some people are there, they want to do something, they don't know what to do.
Hmm.
They say, I could help, or I have a talent that I can show somebody, and so forth. It's nothing like somebody coming. I had a student, she started at Western Michigan University. I had her my last year teaching. And so her first year she came back and she called me. She asked me could she come to the station
Hmm.
to the show. So she came with me. And now she's at Wayne State
Okay.
in broadcasting.
Okay. Okay.
So, sometimes they just have to be exposed. And so many of you out there have talents.
Hmm.
And what would they do?
They can contact us at 313-309-0500. Express interest in becoming a volunteer mentor. From there, we will provide you with the application, get you on to the next steps of enrollment. Again, we ask for a minimum commitment of 1 year, and during that minimum commitment, we ask that you meet with the child at minimum twice a month. As Ms. Perryman stated, it's very simplistic, if you will, to become a mentor, because you're simply becoming a positive support to that child. You're simply becoming that additional voice of reason, that additional voice of motivation in their lives to help them know that, hey, they can do better, they can make it, they can go further in life.
Absolutely. And I was just, I don't know, as you talked, I was just thinking of the many activities that we can share.
Absolutely. We have volunteers who, they started their weight loss program, and so they
Oh,
include their
yeah.
little brother in that whole thing. So the little brother's going to the gym with them. I've have stories over the 9 years. One that always pulls at my heart is about a little boy. He was 8 years old, and so he was matched with his big brother. And on his first outing, the big brother didn't know what to do. And so he was like, well, I'm just going to go get the car wash and then we'll figure out something. And so as they were going through the car wash, the little brother was just so amazed at the car wash. And so they came out, and the little brother said, can we go through again? He said, through the car wash? He said, yeah. So they went through the car wash again. Little brother again, just still amazed. And he said, can we go through one more
Oh,
time? Long story short, they wound up going through the car wash about 5 times because this kid just thought it was so awesome. He had never been through a car wash. His mom was using the bus, the transit system, and so he had never experienced a car wash. Something so simple, something that maybe
we take
we
for
take for
granted.
granted. Exactly. But this really just brightened up this kid's life. And so now that little brother and that big brother, they've gone on to do some tremendous things. They've traveled to Cedar Point. They've done some media for us. They've done a lot of great things for the agency, but more importantly, they've done a lot of great things to improve that kid's life.
Now, we've talked a lot about big brothers. What about the big sisters?
Absolutely. So, Miss
Come
Perry,
on now.
yes, ma'am. We are big brothers, big sisters, and we do have a great number of women who volunteer for our program, and we thank each and every one of them. We know that it is not hard for us to get a lady or a woman to sign up for our programs. For example, for every 10
Can
calls
a
that I get,
lady mentor a boy?
not in our community-based program.
Okay.
We don't do cross-gender mentoring,
Okay.
only because in fairness we would then have to allow males to mentor young ladies, and so
I can
our
understand
yes,
that.
ma'am. And
Yeah.
our focus has always been child safety. So we want to make sure that our children are safe, whether they're boys or girls. And so we don't do cross gender matching in our community based program. But we do have women who sign up for our program. For just about every 10 calls that I get, 7 of them are women who want to become volunteers in our program. So you see the difference between male volunteers calling us and women. So I'm really trying to push this during our 100 Mentors 100 Days campaign that we need more men. And on last week, we actually did a call to action with Deputy Mayor Ike McKinnon over at Durfee Middle School, where we did a call to action for more mentors, more male mentors in particular.
It's nothing like going to a basketball game or taking a child to a basketball game. And women, they like sports too.
Absolutely.
And a lot of girls are playing
You're
sports
right.
or want to see what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other things too. I'll never forget we were over at one of the high schools on the east side of Detroit, and I had taken my students because we have a domestic abuse program, teen dating violence prevention program
Okay.
that we had, and so we went over there to they perform little scenes and so forth, and the students were in the auditorium, and while we were setting up, the students from this school they would come up on the stage and say, "We've never been in here before."
Wow. Wow. Wow.
They say, we don't understand what this is or what
Mm-hmm.
it's about.
Mm.
And then I looked at the curtains, they were all torn, on the sides and stuff like that. It had been, one of the best forms of teaching is by showing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what my students were doing. But these young people had not been exposed to so many things. See, when I was a little girl, we had auditorium class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we learned how to get on the stage and we had to sing June is Bursting Out All Over. I'll never forget that song. Golly, I said, I hate this song. In fact, I said, I hate being on this stage. I didn't know that
It was a
after
setup.
the.
It was a setup.
I didn't know that years later,
Yeah.
but at least the exposure.
Absolutely.
And exposure is worth $1 million.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell my audience once again where they can.
They can give us a call at 313-309-0500 to learn more about the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. You can also visit our website at BBBS, like Big Brother, Big Sister, Detroit.org. So that's BBBSDetroit.org. There you can find out more information about enrolling as a volunteer, as well as parents and grandparents can learn more about our programs and those things that we offer for students as well. Again, I do caution all of the parents that as you call, please know that we are actively recruiting for more mentors, especially those with young men who
Now,
need a
can
mentor.
some mentors do two children?
While we do have some mentors who ask to do double matching is what we call it, our model is one-to-one mentoring.
Oh,
And so
that's ideal.
yes, ma'am.
That
Yes,
is
ma'am.
ideal.
Yes, ma'am. But we
But
do have a number of male mentors, especially, who have stepped up to the plate and
that's
said,
good.
I'll do a double match." And some actually, I have one guy who's mentoring a set of triplets, three
Oh,
brothers. So,
wow, that is fabulous.
mhm,
So remember, gentlemen who are watching our show too, and women too,
mhm,
but they have a shortage of men.
mhm,
It's just twice a month,
mhm, mhm.
at least twice a month.
At least.
Now we'll be back shortly. Remember, I have Table Talk right after this show, and with this past news week, we have a lot of explosive topics with things that happen nationally and locally too. So I had an interview with actress Kate Walsh, and you'll be seeing that in just a moment. So thank you,
Thank you,
Antwan,
Antoine,
so
so
much.
much.
And we'll be back shortly.